What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Pippie here, and welcome to another Battlefield 3 commentary. So today I want to talk to you guys about what I think makes a true Battlefield 3 player. So with the release of Battlefield 4 coming up pretty soon, I just thought I would, take a look back of the time that I've played on Battlefield and what, the experiences that I've had with different teammates and also just other YouTubers that I've watched and what my personal opinion of what I think makes a true Battlefield 3 player. And so, obviously, the Call of Duty franchise is probably one of the most popular franchises out at the moment, probably second to Battlefield, and then maybe, obviously, this is in first-person shooter context, it's like League of Legends and all that stuff doesn't really count because it's not in first-person shooter context, but I know me personally, and I know a lot of subscribers that I have and people that I know have actually made the transfer across from the Call of Duty franchise into the Battlefield franchise, and we see this a lot. I know recently, a couple of months ago, there was a huge sale on Origin, and basically Battlefield went off really, really cheap, and there was just tons and tons and tons of, basically just complete noobs having no idea what they were doing in the game. And, it's sort of, that was one of the things that really made me think, it's not that these guys are complete, obviously they're noobs, but why, I was thinking, why are they not as good as some other people that I'm playing with? And it made me sort of just try and deconstruct sort of things, and I've sort of put up some dot points, and yeah, so I just thought I'd share them with you. So, in my opinion, being a good Battlefield player is all down to being a good team member. And people who transfer from the Call of Duty series are just used to playing for themselves, besides, I don't know, domination or anything like that. Most of the time, people, all they care about is their KDR, and play solely for themselves. But in Battlefield, you have to play as a team player. You have to, you have to go and arm the objectives. You have to cover your teammates. You have to be really, really objective based. And that's why I sort of picked this, the gameplay in the background. It's on Davin Peak, obviously. We'd actually been, we were on defense before, obviously, because it's a 24 Davin Peak server. And the enemy team had taken us to the last endcoms, and we held through as a team and defused. They had it planted on 0 tickets, and we clutch defused, so we were really, really playing well as a team, and then we came in and we just stomped it. This is probably one of the best teamwork games I've had in a long time, so that's why I thought I would share with you. But anyway, so yeah, being a team player is really, 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 really good. And obviously, if you're playing Battlefield and you're having a great time doing your own thing, in the end, it is a video game. If you want to do what you want to do, that is cool. But if you're wondering, you may be playing and you really want to get a bit better, chances are you may want to try these things out. But yeah, the biggest one is playing as a team member. And so some people may think about their KDR and how, they'd be like, oh, I need a great KDR because, obviously, you want to look good. But realistically, in Battlefield, if you go and play the objective, even if you go, so say you're playing on Rush now, and you go and plant the MCOM, and you may die, but in the end, you take the MCOM, so that is a greater good for your team. You may die once, but in the end, your team progresses. So that is all, that is being a good team member. So if you can go and not be selfish, that's the biggest thing. Some people think, okay, I'm going to play solely for me, but yeah, if you go, you may sacrifice your life and plant the MCOM, and then you die straight away because it's so heavily defended. But you get the plane off, your teammates defend, you respawn back in on a teammate, maybe they've got a respawn beacon down, and you'll be able to win that game, and therefore win the round, and everybody loves winning the round. And eventually, if you become, you really practice hard and you play smart, you can end up going positive. And being positive and playing the objective and winning, those are the three, biggest rewards of playing Battlefield. If you can get all three of those, that is just a win. So, yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things. Just really, you gotta learn how to play the objective. Obviously, you can play in TDM or different ones, but especially in Rush or in Conquest, you want to play with your team, you want to play smartly. That's one of the biggest things. You don't rush, say you have the Jeep on Davin Peak and you get through and you're the only person in the Jeep because you've driven off from spawn before anybody else can spawn on you, and you plant the objective and half your team's back up the mountain. That's not playing smart. You're basically, one, you probably wasted the Jeep, and two, your teammates probably are all the way back up the mountain, so they can't cover you. So you planted the objective, then you may die, and who's there for you to spawn back in on, or who's there for you to defend the objective? And so basically, that's not playing smart. So you really got to think, stick with your squad. It's always good to have squad in Skype if you can, but if you're playing just with normal people in a pub, Sometimes you get lucky and have a really great team like I did this time, and they really do cover you, but sometimes you have to lead the squad, and most people, again, most people just sort of play around, but if you're wanting to play and win, try and really lead the squad, talk in squad side chat, be like, hey, spawn on me, I'm near the objective, I'm defending it now, and that'll help so much more for your team. And so that sort of leads on to the next thing, again, it's all about teamwork pretty much. You just really got to play as a team. And so say if you're playing on Rush or you're playing on Conquest, and you're in a tank or something like that, or in a Humvee, and you're completely getting destroyed by the enemy jets. You respawn in, and you notice that, I don't know, two of your jets and the attack helicopter in your base. So basically the enemy team has complete air superiority against you guys. And being a good battlefielder, you would have probably, obviously, again, it's it's sort of addressing people who may not be that good, but if you are a really good battlefielder, you would get in those jets, and you would hammer the enemy jets. You may die, but at least they have something else to worry about, rather than your ground tanks or Humvees, or something that's inconveniencing you and your team. So a good battlefielder would get in those jets, get in that attack helicopter, and go and pest the enemy team. Even if they didn't win the battles and the gunfights, they would still go and pest the enemy team. Because a good battlefield is fluent in ground, air, like, you know, all that sort of stuff, and on the water, even though there's not really that much water combat. But that's one of the biggest things. You just have to be comfortable across all areas. And I know some people aren't very comfortable flying jets. I know me personally, I am pretty bad at jets, but I try hop into air superiority every once in a while, because it's actually a really good game mode to practice with jets. Or I go on Conquest and fly around, like I've been practicing a whole heap in the Little Bird recently, and I'm actually really, really good now. I can hold my own against any other person in a Little Bird. And just practice, and in the end you will get rewarded so much, because you'll be in a Conquest game, and you'll just go along, and maybe, yep, your team's getting completely hammered by the enemy jets, you hop in, and you're the better player. You outsmart the enemy players in their jets, and then it's your turn to hammer the enemy's ground vehicles, and then there you go. That could be an easy win for you guys. So again, being fluent in all different ways, and knowing the right time to switch. So yeah, just switching into and supporting your team in vehicles, because most people who have maybe come across some of the Call of Duty franchises, that game obviously is a complete infantry game. There's no vehicles at all. You can fly an AC-130 and be a gunner. That's not really very infantry based. So basically they may be a bit scared of these, but the biggest thing, what I did personally, I hopped into a private match. No other players, I think it was on Caspian when I first started playing the game. Got in an enemy attack helicopter, my attack helicopter, and just flew around, just practice. You know, there's a couple of bridges, I tried flying onto those, just flying really, really quickly, hovering, just backing up, flying really still, doing the sort of, you can fly in circles while sort of strafing, if you know what I mean. And all that stuff, it really pays off in the end. So that's one of the biggest things about vehicles, but also if you're playing infantry, you really want to be able to play your class. So you, like, obviously the medic, you want to revive people, you want to put down med packs, but also when you're reviving, you want to do smart revives. You don't want to just run out in front of a tank and revive your teammates because you get an easy 100 points. And I'm not sure what this guy was doing here. He should have revived that guy, but obviously he wasn't playing his class correctly. So, you know, it's all relevant. So obviously, yeah, with the medic, yep, all that sort of stuff, and then with the heavy and the support, you want to be able to put down ammo. That's one of the biggest things. I cannot, like, countless times I've been going, shouting in the little chat thing, saying, give me ammo, give me ammo. And they're just oblivious, because they've probably got a bipod down and they're just mowing down. They may be suppressing, they may actually be helping, but most of the time a good battlefielder or a true battlefielder would have put down ammo before they set up their bipod, so it's there for you to go and get access to. And also with the engineer, obviously you're taking out the enemy vehicles, providing cover and all that sort of stuff. Also, like, using your vehicles, repairing, and with the recon class, you're going to be spotting with your rifles, putting down spawn beacons. I don't have a problem with the recon class. I know a lot of people really don't like it, but if you play as a smart recon player, like, don't camp up the back of the map. If you are going to camp, run down into the middle of the map, put a spawn beacon down, and then you can camp the back, for all I care, because at least you've got a spawn beacon down that your teammates can spawn back in on, which really, really helps. And then you can go and snipe to your heart's content, but just make sure you play your class to its full potential. And so for the last thing I wanted just to quickly address was playing smart. That's probably one of the biggest things. If you see that, yeah, again, if you see a tanks out in the middle of the map, you don't run out to the map. You don't run out with a support class and try and put C4 on him. Obviously, he's going to see you. He's going to shoot you. you just really have to play with your head. And if you combine all these sort of things together, I think that's probably what classifies a true or a good battlefielder. And again, everyone's not perfect. I know I make mistakes. I know everyone I play with make mistakes. Sometimes you'll go out and you'll revive someone, there's no one around, and somehow an enemy will pop out, or a helicopter will TV missile you across the map. And yeah, we make mistakes. But again, if you can play to the best of your ability and try and improve and try and run different things and just try and, if you're playing really aggressively, maybe try and hold back and stick with your team. Because in the end, you'll be rewarded. And again, sometimes you'll be in a map and the enemy team will just be complete pub stompers. They'll probably have a whole heap of level 100 kernels, and they'll just completely destroy you. But if you just try as hard as you can, again, you will get rewarded. And with this gameplay, I was so happy after I finished this one, and I was just really, really pleased. And yeah, this is just classic Battlefield. I love this game. So thanks for tuning into this episode, guys. Be sure to click out and check out my channel if you want to see some more content. But thanks again to Pixel Enemy Revive, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.